I think having this tool available to the coaching community and to, our prospects and challengers is an amazing way to kind of be an awesome icebreaker into what we do and what we have to offer. And so I'm really excited to hear you speak. And if you guys want to ask questions, put them in the chat box and we'll kind of go through them at the end. That way it's kind of more organized and not overwhelming. So I will just cut to the chase and hand it over to you, Megan.
All right. So normally what I do in these calls is kind of go over my background, my journey through fitness and where I am now, because I think it's really important as far as Clean Week goes, because it's a huge part of creating Clean Week, of why I created Clean Week. So thank you so much, Amy, for setting this up. I'm really excited because not only Team Stronger Than, but also I know a lot of people from Team Boom around here, and you guys have kind of been like a huge support block for me too over the past year, from the 20s, the show I was on, to now. So I really appreciate all of you. And also I think my parents are on this call today too, which is cool. And it's my dad's birthday, so happy birthday, Dad. Basically my story is I grew up like really into fitness. Well, not really into fitness, but really into sports and just being active. But my family was very unhealthy. So I've just seen my family growing up go through the roller coaster that is like the average American family of, going from, eating pizza every night kind of thing to then kind of going on a crash diet and spending hours in the gym and not really knowing the right way to go about it, but just kind of like doing what you thought is the best thing. I've watched my family kind of go up and down as far as weight loss and weight gain, and weight loss and weight gain. So I was always fit, but I was basically just like, outrunning my unhealthiness because I was having the same diet as everybody else in my family at that point. When I was 14, I decided to train for my first fitness and figure competition. So that's really my background is I've had almost 15 years now of doing fitness competitions. So I started doing that, and a couple of years into it, I was sitting with my family in the audience at one of my shows during one of the intermission portions, and I'm sitting with my dad, and I just turned to him and I said, Daddy, I feel so sorry for you. And at that point, it wasn't anything like, in my head, my dad was Superman, it wasn't anything where, it was just that I didn't think he was doing what he loved to do. What he loved to do was fitness. He was a semi-professional football player, played tournament-level racquetball. He was a very active person in his youth. But then, of course, life gets in the way. So I said, Daddy, I feel so sorry for you. You're interested in bodybuilding, but you're not doing it. And so at that moment it was kind of like his realization, like, wow, my daughter shouldn't be the one feeling sorry for me or being the good role model for me. I should be being the role model for her. So he decided that he wanted to make a change in his life, like right then and there. He was 47 at the time. He had a 42-inch waist, and I don't think he had gotten on the scale in quite a while. So he's guessing he was around 100 pounds overweight. And so he just decided right then and there that he was also going to do a figure and fitness competition or a bodybuilding show for him. And he said, okay, well, in 3 years, when I turn 50 years old, that's when I'm going to get on this stage. And so we all joke because at the time, all of our family members were in the audience with us. And, it's just kind of like I said, there's always that roller coaster. So it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. Like, we'll see how long it lasts this time kind of thing. But he did it. We all started learning how to get into fitness together at that point because, like I said, we were going on this roller coaster, so we never really did it the right way. So we all learned together because while I was in fitness competitions, I also wasn't eating right. So there was a time during my fitness competitions that I was getting my body fat down so low that I went to go fix my ponytail one night and a huge chunk of my hair fell out. And it was because my body fat was too low. I wasn't like getting proper macros and proper nutrients. I was just listening to kind of advice from a little bit of here and there, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was playing a guessing game, and it obviously wasn't working. So my hair fell out at one point. So just because I was fit didn't mean that I was any different from the rest of my family. My family was overweight, but I was just as bad in the nutrition side of it. I was just as unhealthy as they were. So we both were kind of coming from different sides of it. But once I started them on their fitness journey, it's like my dad started, then my mom started, then my brother started. And that's a huge part of Clean Week. Clean Week, I think, is for everybody to do this together, because the other thing is I own a gym now with my family. So with that, people come in all the time and they are saying, well, I'm going to do it, but I don't want my kids to eat like that. They're not going to like to eat like that. So I'm not going to bring my kids into this. Or I'm going to do it, but my spouse isn't going to do it because, they don't want to do it with me, or, they don't need to lose weight. It needs to be something where everybody does it together and has that support system. So this is really something where it's a small stepping stone, but really anybody can do this program, and the whole family can kind of get on board together, because that's what, my fitness journey has been all about, is getting my entire family to go with me. So from there, we opened up a gym. So I went off to college for a couple of years, got certified to be a personal trainer. And then I feel like I'm losing my voice tonight. Got certified to be a personal trainer, and then I got a desk job. And so I was sitting at a desk. We were training people out of my garage. So we were doing little nutrition seminars in our garage and in our living room. We were having friends and family work out in the garage with us. And it was just really for free. It was just to help people. It was just to show them that they could do it too. It was people coming to us like, hey, we see, you guys losing weight. We want to do it too. It's funny because we actually used to do P90X in our garage sometimes with a bunch of people. So full circle now. So after we started training people in the garage, we got so many people in the garage that we brought it to a park. We got so many people in the park that my dad called me up one day while I was at work, and it's like noon. I'm sitting there at my job, and he's like, we kind of may have something here. We kind of talked about one day opening up a gym, but we kind of thought it was a far off in the future kind of thing. But maybe we actually have something, and I think I found the perfect location for where we might want to start. He's like, I'm going to go look at it in 2 hours. And I was like, I'm in the middle of work. I can't go look at a location in 2 hours. What are we talking about? But I was just like, I'll ask my boss if I can leave. We'll see. And she said yes. And I left that day. We went to go look at this little place. It was 1,000 square feet, and everything was lavender. The walls, the carpet, the light fixtures, everything was lavender. And but I think we all kind of felt in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, because we were all kind of this is what we love to do. This is our passion. I hadn't trained anybody besides in the garage, but professionally trained anybody since college. And I knew that that's where my passion was. So we were all sitting there that day, looking at this facility, and we're just this is the right place, the right time. Let's do it. And we all pretty much emptied our bank accounts to put, different equipment in there. We signed the lease that day, took a deep breath, painted those lavender walls all weekend, and we had a gym by that Monday. And then we were like, oh crap, none of us have owned a gym before. But we had some experience. My dad owns his own business too, so we had some experience in that respect. But really it just grew from word of mouth, helping people. You guys know, the second that you get somebody started on that fitness journey and you're the person that did that for them and their life is changed by that, that's your best, part of marketing, is going to be that word of mouth of people just saying wow, this person has something right here. They're going to change your life, and they're going to bring people knocking to your door. So that's exactly what happened. We just did this out of love and caring and wanting to help our community. And it just blew up from there. We went from 1,000 square feet to 2,000 to 4,000 so quick. And now we've had the gym for 6 years now. And it's pretty cool because we all get to work together. It's me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. My mom's kind of our office manager, but she's super fit too. She loves 22-minute hardcore and all the different workouts. So it's been a lot of fun. And then from there, I basically got a call in October of 2015. So that's how long this whole Beachbody process has been going on. And they asked me if I wanted to be on a reality show. And I was like, no, I don't want to be on a reality show. Like, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. And, my dad. And so I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to be on a reality show. And they were like, okay. They called me like 2 days later. They're like, please, I don't have like that many people. You know, I want to put in some trainers and, you know, you would be perfect for this. It's for this really awesome company called Beachbody. And I was like, I don't know what Beachbody is. Like, sorry, I don't want to do a reality show. So third time's a charm. Called me again, and he's like, you know, it's going to be really awesome. I just think, like, please just submit these videos for me. So I'm like, fine, I'll submit the videos. So I do the videos, I send them off. I don't hear back for months. From October to January, I don't hear anything. In January, I get a phone call like, hey, this is Beachbody. You know, we need all this extra information for you. You're moving along in the process. And I'm like, for the thing back in October? Like, what are we even talking about here? Let me backtrack for a second, because on top of doing Tony Horton's workouts in our garage, when we first opened up our gym, Tony Horton happened to come to our gym. So about 6 years ago, we get a call totally unrelated to this saying, hey, there's like a Lifetime show in the area. They need a small gym to film at. Would you be interested in having these people come in and film at your gym? And having a new gym and being like, Lifetime's going to come film. I'm like, yes, please come film at my gym. So they come in and they're like, we're going to have a guest trainer today. And then in walks Tony Horton. So all day I spend with Tony Horton, and yet somehow still do not make the connection when they're like, it's Beachbody. And I'm like, I don't know what Beachbody is. So finally I looked it up. Like, I'm in the middle of this process and I'm like, well, I guess I should figure out what I'm getting myself into. And of course, looking up Beachbody, the first picture I see is Tony Horton. And you know, I knew all the programs. I knew Body Beast. I knew 21 Day Fix. So when I see all these programs pop up and Tony Horton, I was like, oh, Beachbody. So that's when I realized, like, okay, we need to take this seriously. We need to, you know, go above and beyond for whatever they ask me for. And so then in February, they called me up and they said, okay, you're coming out to LA. You're either going to be out here for 2 days or 2 months. You're not going to know. We're going to do a final like interview, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm pretty sure my mom thought I was getting like kidnapped or something. And so I went out to LA, and that's when the 20s started. So we shot in LA from February, the end of February until like the end of April. And yeah, it was just a really cool experience where like 20 people started out, 11 people moved into the house. And it was just pretty incredible. Everybody in the house was super nice. We thought it was going to be a boring show because it was just 11 of us who were eating, working out, and sleeping, and eating and working out and sleeping. We're like, no way are people going to be interested in this. But we had our challenges on top of that. And it definitely took me out of my comfort zone. I'm kind of a shy person, if you don't know me. So yeah, it completely took me out of my comfort zone every single time. Like every single challenge, I had to just take a deep breath and be like, okay, we have to give this all of our energy, all of our focus, all of our, you know, just completely outside of the box for me. And it ended up paying off. Like, I can't imagine if, like, backtracking, if I would have said no a third time to the person that called me for the show. It ended up being such a positive experience for the whole thing. And so at the end of filming, though, what you guys may or may not know is they actually filmed 3 different endings. So they picked the top 3, and they waited until the last minute. We were about to film who the winner is. You know, we've been filming for 2 months, cameras in our face 24/7. We weren't allowed to leave the house, no cell phones, no computers, no music, no TV, no nothing. And so we're finally getting to this point where we're going to find out the winner, and somebody from Beachbody comes in like, so we're not actually going to tell you who the winner is, and we're going to film 3 different endings. So put on your acting faces and be really excited for when we announce you as the winner, and then they're also going to film 2 more times where you have to be really disappointed. So if you watch the show and I'm just kind of like, yay, that's the reason, because I was like, I'm not an actor. So we get to the end of the show, and we're not allowed to talk about it, obviously, because it's going to be several months before they go through their process and put it all together. And it came out that August. So when you guys found out the following October that I won is when I found out I won. I did not know until literally an hour before they decided to air it. Carl called me up on the phone and let me know before that my episode was going to be aired. So that was the most nerve-wracking weekend of my life, knowing that Carl was going to call me on that Monday and tell me if I won or not. And I think, again, I probably was just like, I don't know what to do. But so from there, it had to happen really fast. I think with any other trainer, it's kind of been well, here's the program, here's the trainer, everything comes out at once. You don't know about the trainer basically until the program is announced. And it was kind of the opposite way for me. So now you know about the trainer before the program's announced, before we even have an idea of what the program is going to be. So I basically sat down with Carl in December-ish of this past year, and we started talking about what kind of things I would like to do as a trainer and what kind of things he was seeing a need for. And for Beachbody, you guys know that Carl is watching you guys all the time and kind of learning what's needed, and he really pays attention to everything you guys want in order to help your businesses succeed. So we kind of started talking about just my beginnings, which was why it was really important, and me kind of being the fitness person in my family and pulling people on this journey along with me. So we kind of wanted to bring that into whatever my first product would be. And he actually had the idea for Clean Week for a long time now. So for 2 years, Carl had this idea. The thing is there really needs to be a new face for this idea. If one of the current trainers does Clean Week, it pushes them into that trainer's program. So Clean Week is really a way to kind of open the doors into all things Beachbody. So he knew that it needed to be a new face. And so he was like, I have this idea for this program to kind of be the gateway into Beachbody. I thought it was brilliant because, just like I told you, I didn't know what Beachbody was. I knew of all the programs, but I didn't know Beachbody. So I really feel like this is kind of the program to be here's Beachbody and here's all of what Beachbody has to offer, because there's so many different aspects within BOD and Fixate and so many different avenues to get help and support in Beachbody, but people don't realize that. They just see okay, there's this workout program, P90X, or there's this workout program, 21-Day Fix. They don't realize that there's that umbrella and that you can get so much more. So we came up with the Clean Week idea, and from there we had all of this past February to create it, to practice it, to do test groups, to cast, to film. Everything was done in February, which was just hectic and chaotic, and there's this amazing organized chaos with everybody in Beachbody, because there's so much brilliance in the headquarters. They have their fitness teams, their legal teams, their nutrition teams, and everybody's just working to help give the best product possible. Their marketing teams, everybody is involved in creating one of these programs, so which made it so much a little bit more relaxing for me. I get to do what I love to do, which is create a workout program, and then I get their kind of feedback into, well, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, this is what we've seen in the past. So we created Clean Week, and yeah, so we'll get into exactly what Clean Week is. Clean Week is going to be obviously a 7-day program. You've seen these other week-long programs coming out. So you've seen Sean Week, you've seen Sagi is coming out, I think it's on the 5th with his week of hard labor, which I'm super excited about. And so you've seen these other week-long programs coming out. The difference is that those programs are really made to they're more of to reconnect people in Beachbody. So people that are already in Beachbody that love their trainer from whatever program that they've seen the best results with, it's a way for them to reconnect with that trainer and get excited about it again. Clean Week, on the other hand, is more of an acquisition tool for you guys. It's to bring new people into Beachbody and to kind of set them on that first step into the world of fitness. So it's a 7-day program. There are going to be we're going to be talking about all the different programs within Clean Week. So as I'm doing the sumo squats in the strength training workout, I might be talking about, oh, Body Beast is an awesome program if you like strength training. And so we start talking about all the different programs. So that way at the end of the 7 days, it's not just kind of like, okay, well, I did 7 days, like now what's next? We've been talking about all the things Beachbody has to offer. They have a little bit better of an idea, and of course you guys will be there to help guide them into whatever program they're more excited for. So it's really a program that's designed to push people into the next step for Beachbody. People have been asking me, can I do multiple rounds of Clean Week? Well, you can do multiple rounds of Clean Week, but the purpose for you guys is to kind of graduate them into something else in Beachbody, which I think is really cool because it's just an introduction to everything. You also get a 7-day Shakeology sample, so they're also going to be introduced into Shakeology, and through this entire process, kind of being connected to you as a coach and as the person that's guiding them through this entire process. So it should, by the end of the week, have them like super excited to jump into the next thing. It's like, okay, it's very, there's a lot of barriers when people are entering into a fitness programs. There's financial barriers. There's just their own personal insecurities. There's all kinds of things. So Clean Week is a way to kind of take all of those away. Their personal insecurities, like this should be like a little bite-sized program that they feel like, okay, I got to the end of the week. I didn't die. I don't feel like I can't move. The workouts were fun, and I really feel like I have all the tools I need to kind of take the next step. So that's really what this is about. When we did our test groups, though, I will say that people were losing like 9 pounds during the week. I won't say that's a typical weight loss, and I'm sure after that first week, because we really did have true beginners, after that first week, I would expect them to go down to a 1 to 2 pound weight loss a week. It's a healthy weight loss. But when you do have a true beginner, sometimes that bigger number happens at the beginning. So I will say that we saw 9 pounds and numbers like that during that first week. It's not something that I think you guys necessarily should push. I don't think that that's what this should be about. It should be more about taking that first step. But it is, it will get them excited by the end of that first week, like, whoa, it was only a week and I lost 9 pounds. And like I said, it's not going to be a big before and after picture kind of program or anything like that. It's really going to be all of those internal wins that they have, that they feel stronger and healthier and more excited to start on this fitness journey. What else? The workouts. So we have 4 different workouts that you're going to be doing during the week. There's a strength training workout. There is a cardio workout. There's a core function workout. Core function is not necessarily sitting there and doing a million punches or even really an ab workout at all. It's more of a full body workout where we are just talking a lot about how your core is moving during each exercise, which is so important just for form and making sure that people that are new into the fitness world are not injuring themselves because they are thinking about their good posture and keeping their core contracted and everything like that while they're doing these workouts. So it's more of kind of slowing them down and getting them used to different exercises. And then the last one is kind of like a flexibility one, but I am not a yogi. So you have all the different yoga programs on Beachbody On Demand, and I will leave that to the yogis. So this is more of like an activation. We kind of slow down the workout that day. It's in the middle of the week, so it's kind of a recovery day, but we're still talking a lot about form during that workout and some dynamic stretching in there. So those are the 4 workouts. They're each 30 minutes long, and they're super accessible. So a huge part, my favorite part of Clean Week has been that there is no modifier. There's only an intensifier, and everybody is doing kind of a base move. So this came about because we were running our test groups, and at first Beachbody just brought me in a bunch of employees and to see how it would go. And so the employees, just like any of them, I shouldn't have thought that it was going to be any different. When I'm at home training people, nobody ever wants to do the modification. Like, you know, they think it's like, you know, they're dumbing down the workout or something. And even if they have a knee problem and I'm like, hey, this is what you do if you have a knee problem, they don't do it. They want to do the regular program. So we went in there with a regular program and a modifier. And, you know, Carl and I really talked about this supposed to be a really like, still a significant program. So we didn't want it to be like a baby program or anything like that where people didn't think they were getting the most out of their time. So we made a regular workout and we had the modifier, and that modifier was really what was supposed to make it a beginner program. Well, we take everybody through the workout, have all different fitness levels in this room, and not a single person does the modifier, and everybody is dropping like flies, telling me it's too hard, this is not a beginner's program, this is like insanity, what are you trying to do to these people? And I'm like, well, nobody did the modification. So we went through and tried to kind of tone down some of the exercises and things like that. We went back the next day with a new group of people, same feedback. So finally I was like, you know what, if nobody's gonna do the modification, then the modification is the move. So now everybody was doing the modification. That was the base move, and it became, if you want to step this up, take a look at this person. And all of a sudden it's like people would kind of step it up for a little while, come back to the base move. And by the end of the workout, everybody was like, my joints don't hurt. I feel like I got a good workout in. I still feel like I was working. I'm sweating. You know, I feel good after my workout, which is exactly how you want somebody who's just beginning to start out. You don't want them to feel like they got hit by a train after those first couple of days, because they are not going to continue. So, so after we kind of got that settled, it's like everybody felt like they were getting a good workout in. So we have, so the modification, losing my train of thought, nutrition. Okay, so nutrition is really cool, because something that's really important when I'm training all of, you know, my clients on what they should be eating and things like that. I like to keep things really simple. So everything is, there's 7 different breakfast options, 7 different lunch options, 7 different dinner options. There's vegan and vegetarian and gluten-free options. So even though it's only a week-long program, there is something for everybody. But it's more about meal prepping. So you're not going to be making all of those different things and spending a lot of time. Instead, you are going to be meal prepping at the beginning of the week, picking a couple of the items you think you're going to like the best, and that way you're prepared for the entire week to continue on. And of course, you're going to have your Shakeology every single day. So, you know, with me, I really don't feel, whenever I start somebody out, I start them out on learning the basics of nutrition. I think that unless you have something, you know, a certain medical condition that you know about, that we need to start with the basics, at least get that down, our portion control down and things like that before we start kind of playing with things and going up and down with our carbs or whatever. So this is starting them out at the basics. And there's no real carb depletion or anything like that. It's just going to be hitting all your macros. We're still working out the macro count, so I'll get back to you guys on that. But I know that there's certain calories for under 185 and over 185, and there's going to be some more stipulations in there too. You know, it's also going to be really cost effective because it is so simple. I specifically did not want to have like a bunch of different like spices or anything like that where you buy it and then like you use it one time during the week and then you never use it again. And then it becomes, okay, I spent $30 on Clean Week, but I just spent $250 on all the stuff I needed for Clean Week. So it's going to be really cost effective so they don't feel like, you know, they have to keep buying and keep buying and keep buying to do the program. And that should be, did I miss anything? I don't know. I guess we'll go to questions. I think that's all I have about cleaning. So yeah, I hope you guys are really excited because this is a program that I really think is going to introduce everybody into the world of Beachbody. They should be extremely excited and ready to go after this week. The pay. the payment is in front of their paywall. So they're not going to have some big sign up or anything like that. They're not getting a free trial of Beachbody On Demand. They're just going to be getting Clean Week. The launch date actually got pushed back to October 3rd now, and I think it's just because they're trying to figure out all the tech side of that, of putting it in front of the paywall. So basically they're going to put very basic information in. The $30 includes their Shakeology sampler pack, the meal plan, and everything like that. And so they're not going to have to go through this long sign up or cancellation process or anything like that, which is the part that kind of takes out that financial barrier that people have of, you want me to put my credit card where, and what am I signing up for? I'm never going to cancel this thing. Like, I don't know. So that's the part about it that kind of takes that out, because I know, for most coaches, you're messaging a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people that you don't necessarily know. And so now it's just, they pay their $29.95, I think it is, and now they can kind of trial out everything and realize, okay, Beachbody has a lot to offer. I see some questions. Current clients who already have Shakeology would still need to pay the Shako sampler in order to participate, right? I believe that they're still going to be able to sign up for the workouts without the Shakeology sampler, so the workouts will be free. So if you already have Shakeology, I don't believe you're going to have to pay for it. If you want the meal plan, then you're going to have to pay the $30, actually, now that I think about it. But the workout should still be available to anybody. So if you have somebody that's still like, no, I don't want to even pay the $30, I don't know what you want my credit card for, I think you're still going to have an option to kind of show them, okay, these are legitimate workout programs, I'm actually sending you something. So there's going to be that option as well. FAQ says, yes, workouts are available for free on BOD. You do not need to be a member. Yes. Wouldn't that be just Beachbody On Demand trial? Like I said, you're not going to have access to basically anything else on Beachbody On Demand. I would think it would be probably that they can see all that there is to offer without actually being able to get it. And that's probably how that's going to work out. Only on, yeah. Is there an option with Clean Week without the 7 days of Shakeology? Yep. Okay. Will they only have access to Clean Week for 7 days, or are they buying that program so they can order and wait for Shakeology and then do it all together? Wait, will they only have access to? I think that they're always, like, once you have Clean Week, you're going to have access always to Clean Week. So yeah, you can order it and wait for the Shakeology and then kind of start a group together. I believe that they're going to have like a big group starting off all together. So probably during that first week, everybody's going to be like ordering, getting all their stuff ready. During the weekends, we'll have a lot of meal prep tips and things like that coming up, so everybody can kind of meal prep together and get excited about it. And then there's going to be like kind of one big group starting for Clean Week in that first week. Does it expire after 7 days? No, I think you'll always have Clean Week once you get Clean Week. And yeah, I know a lot of the coaches want to do it too. I definitely encourage you guys to do it, because like with any other program, if you don't know exactly what you're putting people into, like the best way to answer all the questions and know about the program is to do it yourself. So I will say that with that intensifier, you guys are going to get just as good of a workout in. So load up the weights, hit that intensifier, and I promise you, you guys will feel like it's insanity. So, dun, dun, dun. So somebody keeps asking, what about ketogenic? I'm not going to get into ketogenic. I have my own opinions about ketogenic, but I also feel like when somebody finds the thing that works for them, great. I just do not kind of push that on people who are just starting out. Like I said, unless there's a specific medical concern, where people are, need to kind of avoid certain things. In the beginning, I just feel like making sure that we have proper portion control and everything like that is kind of the way to go. And then once we have the basics, the foundation done, then we can start playing with our diet. So for a beginner's program, that's where we're staying at for now. It's just the basics of nutrition and keeping it really simple. One of the things beginners say is, I can't find the motivation. Where do you find your biggest motivations and inspirations? So for me, it's been actually looking at you guys. I posted something the other day. It's like this picture of me at Summit, which was like the craziest experience for me. And I'm like doing the warm up. It's like little 5 moves that I did. They told me right before I was going on stage, like, hey, do you think you could do a warm up? I'm like, oh, okay. So I get up on stage and like just did like 5 different moves. And so they have like this picture of me like pointing out to you guys. And I just like keep on looking at that picture like all the time now, because I'm just like, oh my God. It's just has been a crazy experience for me so far. So that's kind of been my biggest inspiration, is just watching you guys and your posts and things like that. You know, you guys are doing what I love to do, which is kind of get people going and guide people and things like that. So I think that's super cool. And that's been my biggest motivation so far. Like, if you guys aren't getting motivated by looking at each other's feeds and stuff, like, I don't know what's going to motivate you. Like, it's ridiculous. So, so yeah, you guys are it. Any other questions? But yeah, I just really think that this program, you know, you should be asking when somebody goes to sign up, like, figure out their family situation, figure out if their wife or husband is doing it along with them, figure out like what their kids are into. You know, it doesn't have to be like a hard sell, like, can we bring your wife into it or anything like that. But once you start figuring out their story and things like that, you know, that's when you kind of say like, okay, who else can you bring along on this? Because I've had people, like I said, that say, oh, well, I'm doing it, but my kid's not doing it. Or I really want you to work with my kid, but I'm not going to do it, and my other kids aren't going to do it because they don't need to lose weight. And for me, it's not about losing weight. For me, it's about getting everybody healthy and getting people moving again and getting people eating right again. You know, we have a kids program at the gym, and the kids program is so cool because we're teaching the kids just about like, what is protein, what are carbs, you know, what is sugar, how much sugar should you have, and things like that. And the kids get so excited. The kids are into it. So, you know, teaching the kids and getting them on board with all of this stuff is a huge part in just getting like this Beachbody is a family, like get the families involved. Like that's my biggest message. Because who knows, you know, down the road where your family is going to be at if you don't start taking care of yourselves now. So that would be my biggest thing is I want to see families doing this together. I want to see people just starting out on their fitness journey, because, you know, nobody's going to beat themselves. Everybody gets beat up by themselves more than anybody else around them, you know. So hopefully this is a program that kind of takes that out and people can feel good about taking that first step into fitness and eating right. Do you guys have any more questions? Is the modification still high impact like Shift Shop was? No, there's no jumping in the, and we don't call it a modification, it's base move, but there's no jumping in that base move. Everything is very accessible. I will say there's getting down to the floor and getting back up. We do try to make plenty of time for people to do that. And I'm also going to be coming out with tons of videos, so make sure you can follow me on Instagram at Megan Davies Fitness, or my Facebook page, Megan Davies Fitness, and I'm going to be posting tons of videos to kind of give further modification to where if somebody can't get up and down off the floor, they can use a chair or something like that. So just make sure you follow me, and I'll make sure that you guys have all that information. But for the most part, we had all different kinds of people doing this workout through the test groups, people with injuries, people that were very overweight, some fit people. The fit people followed the intensifier and had an awesome workout. The, you know, people that were just starting out did the base move and had an awesome workout. So I really think this program is for everybody. even for people who, like the coaches and everything that have been going through other programs and things like that, sometimes we start making things so complicated that we kind of lose track of where we are. So Clean Week might also just be a really good way to kind of regroup, take it back to basics, and continue on your journey kind of thing. During the workouts, you also talk about the different nutrition plans that go with the other workout programs. Now, we don't talk about the nutrition plans. You know, it's only a week long, so you start talking about too many different things, and people start getting a little like, oh, should I be doing something else? Should I be doing, should I have these containers? Should I be doing a keto diet? Which is exactly why we didn't really include things like that. It's just to keep it basic and not have people's heads spinning so much, but still kind of just planting little seeds as we go along. And notice how I always like sing when I'm reading. Dun, dun, dun. I have another. As coaches, we read personal development. Do you have any favorite authors or books or recommendations? What was that book? So I'm going to have to get back to you guys on the book's name. I think it's something about balance, but it's by Jennifer Bricker. And, you know, you guys probably follow the other guy, and I'm blanking on his name too, the one that was born with no arms and no legs. He's a motivational speaker now. Jennifer Bricker is very much the same. She was born with no legs, and she's actually an aerialist, a gymnast, like wins national titles and stuff, tours with Britney Spears. And she has just a really cool story about being adopted when she was a baby. She finds out that her sister is Dominique Mucciano, which was my favorite gymnast growing up from the Olympics. So it's a really incredible story of just how never say I can't. Like, she was never taught to say I can't. It was always I can. So she never thought that she couldn't play softball or volleyball because she didn't have any legs. She just went out and did it. And when she decided that she wanted to become a gymnast, her parents were just like, all right, we're going to figure this out. And she figured it out and started winning national championships. And it wasn't until later in her life that she was like, I want to find out about my real family, and finds out that she's Dominique Mucciano's sister. So it's just a really incredible story, and she's really incredible. So I definitely recommend checking her book out, Jennifer Bricker. Definitely one of my favorite stories. All right, I think I hit everybody's question.
I think Joe is asking, are you going anywhere for Super Saturday?
Yes, Super Saturday, I'm going to be in Jacksonville on Friday and Orlando on Saturday. So if any of you guys are in the area, please come. That's actually something I'm really excited about because, like I said, at the summit, I got like a small taste on a big stage. But I only got to be up there for like a couple minutes, kind of working out and things like that. So these are going to be like, it's going to be my first chance to actually lead workouts and things like that. So that's what I'm really excited about. Everything is possible. Finding the faith, courage to follow your dreams. Jennifer Bricker. Okay, so my mom just posted it. Everything is possible. Finding the faith and courage to follow your dreams. Actually has nothing to do with balance like I thought. And it is, again, by Jennifer Bricker.
Does anybody else have any more questions? Go mom.
Go mom, yeah. My family, like, they're always super supportive. When Beachbody told me I was going to the summit, and they were like, you get to bring, like, you know, you get an additional like flight or something to go with you. And I was like, okay, how can we trade in flights to get more flights? Because I don't know if you realize, but my entire family, like, you hired me, but you actually get my entire family. So I was like, we will all be there with bells on, and we're going to need a bigger bus.
What was your overall impression of Summit?
Summit was awesome. So it's funny because I usually get super nervous. Like, you can probably see now, like, I like get giddy and stuff like that. Summit was like this weird moment of like seeing the crowd and just being like, oh, like, I have no idea what took over my body, but like even getting called out on that stage to talk with Carl, I have been like building this up in my head for months. Like, oh my God, there's so many people. I'm going to be like stuttering and stumbling over my words. I'm not even going to be able to say anything on stage. And then there was just that moment when they said my name and I like went out there and sat down, and I just remember like sitting like this, like, yeah, what's up, Carl? And in my head, I'm like, okay, your heart's not pounding. You're not freaking out. Like, this is going well. So yeah, it was just really cool getting to meet everybody too. The first couple of days, I was still flying under the radar a little bit. So I got to actually stop and smell the roses and have more than a 2-minute conversation with a lot of people, which was really awesome because I got to find out how important Clean Week would be to you guys. You know, doing all of this, I knew it would be cool because I knew it would be something that's neat to kind of open up the doors of what Beachbody has to offer. Like I've been talking about to new people, but I had coaches coming up to me like, I spend like 10 hours a month on creating these, you know, clean eating groups and things like that. So to just have like a go-to thing is going to be so huge for me and my time. And you guys can obviously spend that time in other areas, reconnecting with people and following up with people and things like that. So I had no idea how important it was going to be to you guys, which like really blew my mind. It was really cool. And yeah, getting on that stage to teach my little mini warm-up was incredible. I can't wait for next year to hopefully have a full workout to teach.
That's awesome. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be an amazing tool with our prospects. I think the number one thing that we all struggle with the most is price objections, and just getting people to say yes is incredibly difficult. And so I think for brand new coaches and for veteran coaches, getting those small wins of just getting people to say yes and just spending $30, like you can justify spending $30 any day. You can go to Chipotle and spend that kind of money. You know what I mean? It's no big deal. And so I think opening the doors was something that is going to be easier to get people to say yes and see what value they're getting, and just how incredible our community is, and just get them to make that first yes, that first step into fitness, I think is going to be such an amazing thing. So I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to see just all those people who watch you constantly and, you know, just seeing what you do and kind of just giving them that push into finally saying that yes and, you know, continuing on with us is something I'm super excited about. So thank you sincerely for your time tonight, and thank you for taking the time out of your life to create something so cool for us. And I know that just the coaches that I work with on a daily basis, talking to them, they're really excited to have this as a tool in our tool belt to use for our prospects. And so we're all really, really excited about it. And I personally love your personality and just the light that you bring to this community. And so I'm really excited just to see this launch and then where you go from here with our family. So
thank you so much. I honestly, I've been thinking about that a lot too. And I honestly hope it's just like continuing on with like this kind of beginner program. I know it's like cool and fun to be able to bring like new craziness in, but you know, we have intense programs, and you know, sometimes we forget about those people who are just starting out and who are scared and don't know what the first steps are. So yeah, that's really kind of where my heart and soul is, and I can't wait to continue with that.
Okay, Megan from Beth, Reelman, Pete, Pat. We're so excited about this. Here we are.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
So good.
Come on. We're up in Skinny Atlas tonight watching you.
So authentic.
Yeah. Can't wait for this to launch.
So real, down to earth. It's unbelievable.
Thank you. Again,
I'm really looking forward to it.
Megan, did you tell them the story about how we first started talking on Facebook when I was trying to recruit you as a coach?
Yes. So, like I said, there was months when I couldn't talk about what I was doing. And so I was posting more and more about Beachbody. And Patrick sent me a message like, hey, I saw you're into this. You want to be a part of like my group? Or I don't even remember exactly what he said, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I can't. And he was like, you can't, like, and he's like, you know, keeps on talking to me. And then finally I'm just like, look, I have something going on that I can't tell you about. So, you know, I'll tell you pretty soon, I swear. And I know Patrick had to be sitting there like, okay, like, you know, this is a new excuse, but still an excuse, like, whatever.
I was like, how am I supposed to handle this objection? I don't even know what the objection is.
And so, yeah, eventually it's like the first day that I was allowed to announce, like, comes out, and he had been keeping in touch with me still, like, through my objections, still keeping in touch, just like, you know, you guys always talk about. And finally on that first day, I was like, okay, so now I can tell you, like, and of course I wanted to get my family involved, and Patrick just seemed like somebody who was on top of it, knew his stuff, you know, and was doing it the right way. So I definitely was kind of like, all right, my family is in good hands.
Let's go. It's cool. I mean, your whole family's super down to earth, very humble, so knowledgeable. So we're very excited that you guys are part of the Team Boom family now, and we couldn't be more happy to see this program launch on October 3rd. So we're pumped for you, Megan.
Thank you.
We're in your corner. Let's do this.
I love it. I love it.
Yay!
Get her done. Get her done.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you again, Megan. And we will see you all next week.
All right, bye guys. Thank you so much.